Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Monday, June 9th. And the Chop Seat is your favorite place for Braves baseball and the rest of the action from across the league. So welcome. We are going to talk about the Atlanta Braves and how bad they have been doing. We're going to catch up with the action from around the league from the weekend. Then we're going to update, we're going to preview the upcoming Braves series. And we're going to get right into it. We're going to try and make it a quick episode today. And we're going to get off with our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we preview the previous Braves series. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Again, use code CHOPSEAT, CHOPSEAT, on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. So the series that we had during the weekend was against the San Francisco Giants. It was another disappointing one. That seems to be the theme of this show. Disappointing series after disappointing series. The Braves, they get swept in San Francisco. They have yet to win a game in California. It's not going to happen anymore. I don't think they have any games left. I'm not sure. I didn't really look it up. I apologize for that. But they have been undefeated, winless in California, San Diego, LA, and San Francisco. Terrible way to open up your season. And if you were actually able to win, we weren't going to sweep all those games, but if you were able to at least win half, it would have been a different record and a different spot in the standings. And also another interesting stat, the Braves are now 9-19 in one-run games. And I believe they've lost 10 straight in a row, one-run ball games. So talk about just struggling, man. Talk about just going through it. This team seems like they can't win any game, man. It's just I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest. It's just I don't know if it's bad luck. I don't know if it's not really a bad team. You got a good roster. You got guys that they can strive offensively, defensively. The pitching has been great still. The starting pitching, at least. The bullpen, I kept saying the bullpen was fine. I was kind of, delusional, me speaking. But we've seen it get exposed now. Starting with that series with the Diamondbacks, we've seen the bullpen get exposed, and now it's made up. Half of it is made up of guys that have been DFA'd. Just to give you an example, so that's the bullpen that we're dealing with, and then your closer he's not lights out anymore, which is because even though if your bullpen is not the rest of your bullpen, even if they're not performing up to their standards or how you want them to perform, at least if your closer is still lights out, he's still coming in and closing the door. You might be in a good place, you might be able to get away with it, but when your last guy, your closer, he's not on his game, that's crucial. It's crucial, and we've seen that now. And I got a little hot take. What do you guys think if they put Spencer Strider kind of in a John Smoltz role to close out ball games this season? We've seen that his velocity has gone down. What do you guys think if he comes in the ninth? We have no closer, so we got nothing to lose right now. There's nobody's closing out games successfully, unfortunately. But what do you guys think? He comes in the ninth. He could let it all out, throw some gas. He's probably gonna get a 1-2-3 inning most of the time. The guy is great strikeout stuff. If he's able to go all out, I feel in that one inning, face 3 batters, 4, maybe 5, hopefully not. That means there's trouble. But if he's able to go all out with 3 batters, I think he's gonna get back to having his velocity where it's supposed to be, because I feel like he's been maybe trying to take it a little bit more easy since he's been back on the IL, trying to get deeper into ball games, and we see that his strikeout stuff is there, just a little bit of control issues. But I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about him being put in a closer role on like kind of like similar to John Smoltz, and being that guy at the end of the games? He has an attitude. He has the stuff. And you can only do it let's say do it for this season, and then you put him back in a starter role just for now, so he can fill in. Who's gonna start in his spot? Just bring somebody up, do some spot starts or whatever. Deal with the options, or heck, throw Dylan Dodd in there. Dylan Dodd is up right. He's up right now. Throw him in there. Give him some starts, and then go from there. See how it goes. Because we gotta have a guy at the end of the ball game that he's able to come in and shut the door. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you guys think about that? And so forth. But let's go again. Sorry for going off there for a second, but let's look at the series against the Giants. The first game, the Braves lose this one by a score of 5-4. This was an extra innings. It was a tough loss. We continue to get gut punches. The key moments, the Giants, they battled through multiple base running miscues, including 2 outs on the bases in a confusing second. Baseball on the field in one of those plays. That was a weird play. Somebody threw a baseball. I don't know who thought it was a bright idea to do so when the Braves were scoring. But anyways, this one ended in the 10th. Tyler Fitzgerald, he scored the walk-off run off a wild pitch from Pierce Johnson, who came in to shut the door. Did not happen. The Giants had some great defensive plays, especially by Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Dominic Smith. Hayden Birdsong, he struggled. He started, but he struggled. And Camilo Doval, he closed it out with a strikeout to win the game. We're going to look at the box score here real quick for this ball game. But it was not a good look, guys. It was not a good look for our Braves. They had the lead early in the game on the top of the 4th. The Giants scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th. The Braves scored 2 on the top of the 7th. That made it. The Giants. I'm just winging this one, guys. The Giants, they ended up scoring 3 in the bottom of the 1st, so they took the early lead. Braves started battling back. They tied up in the 7th inning, top of the 7th. 4-4. But then the Giants score off of that wild pitch. That was the ball game. Unfortunately, for the Braves, Matt Olson, he had a homer. He had a 2-run homer. That was number 13 for the season. That was in the 7th inning. Hits from Acuna, Riley, and Verdugo as well. Michael Harris, he had a 2-hit game. The offense was decent. Schwellenbach, he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those earned, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. This is the game that Craig Kimbrell came into the game after being recalled from AAA Gwinnett. He pitched a scoreless inning, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 1 K. But to our surprise, he was immediately DFA'd after the ball game. This is a move that I really, really don't understand. They're saying that because the Braves didn't like what they saw because he was sitting 91-93. Obviously, he had a control issue with the walk. He ended up picking a guy off as well. A lot of pickoffs this series for the Braves too, which was pretty good to see. But yeah, they DFA'd him immediately. This is one move I really don't understand this one, because it's like if you just needed an arm to come up and just give some guys a day off in the bullpen, you could have brought anyone up. I think they brought up Austin Cox. They brought him back up after that. So you could have just brought him up from the get-go instead of going through Kimbrell and having him come up and then just releasing the dude. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a Braves legend. He came up with the Braves, and when he came up, he was absolutely killing it. So, and then if you didn't like what you saw from him, again, why would he just bring him up? I mean, apparently this is the same way he's been pitching in AAA the whole entire year. So Why are you acting surprised? You knew what you were going to get. So this part I don't get. I don't know if he's going to come back to us, if he's going to clear waivers or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if he's been signed, if he signed somewhere else. I'm not sure. But that's just one move I don't get. But again, I feel like he came in and he didn't give up a run, which is what you want. A lot of these guys have not been able to do that. Yeah, it wasn't 1, 2, 3 lights out, but at least he got out of the inning with no run score. That's exactly what you want. So I feel like you could have gave him at least a few more appearances and see how that went, and then you make a decision from there if you want to keep him or not. But hey, I'm not the GM. Thankfully, I'm not the GM because I'll be making some emotional moves. As you saw on Twitter, I was ready to get rid of Snicker after Sunday's game. I apologize. I got too emotional. That's the problem with Twitter too. I don't really use Twitter, but I got back on it for the chop seat, obviously. And it's kind of fun where you could tweet, right there, whatever you're thinking. But sometimes, I see how people get in trouble. You just blur whatever out. So I apologize, because at the end of the day, if you fire Snicker, that's not gonna help these guys to hit the ball. They're not gonna be like, oh, Snicker's gone now. Let's just start hitting with runners in scoring position. Let's take better at bats. That's not gonna make a difference. So, or that's not gonna make a difference in the bullpen. Or we're gonna get lights out innings back to back, 1, 2, 3 innings. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna make a difference. These guys got to start doing their job. That's what it comes down to. Start playing as one unit. Start doing your job. And get everything to start clicking. It's crucial at this moment. At this point in time, it's crucial. It's gonna start getting late. People keep saying this, it's still early. Such and such team was the same amount of games under 500 this time last year or a few years ago. I get it. There's still time, but it's gonna start getting late real soon. So they got to start, clicking and moving as one unit. But anyways, that was the game one. Game one was a disappointing loss. Like I said, 5-4 and 10 innings. The Giants walk it off. And guess what? They walk it off in game two as well. It was a 3-2 victory for the Giants. Bryce Elder had the performance of his lifetime. You guys spoiled that performance that he gave. He went 8 innings. He struck out 12 over those 8 innings. He just allowed 1 run, solo homer, 2 Wilmer Flores, and Logan Webb for the Giants. He matched that with 10 strikeouts over 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs. Elliot Ramos singled for San Francisco, and Wilmer Flores, he homered to give a 1-0 lead for the Giants. Michael Harris the second. He tied it for Atlanta. Marcell Ozuna, he gave them a 2-1 lead with an RBI fielder's choice. You saw Ozuna running down the line on that one. And it's kind of scary. He has the tear in his hip. It's kind of scary when you see him running the bases hard like that. But the decisive moment, it came with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Matt Chapman, he launched a 2-run walk-off homer, his 12th of the season against, again, Pierce Johnson. Pierce Johnson, 2 back-to-back walk-offs allowed. Bad to see him. He was not feeling it. He was pissed. He threw the glove in the dugout when they turned the camera towards him at the end of the ball game. And, again, San Francisco actually extended their streak to 4 straight 1-run wins. So you can see the opposite, the complete opposite of the Braves. We're going to see the scoring here, if we can, for the Atlanta Braves. Sorry, not the scoring, but the box score. Acuna, he had a hit. Drake Baldwin, he was batting second. He had a hit. Austin Riley, he had a 2-hit ball game. Michael Harris the second, like I mentioned, he had a hit. Ozzie Albies with a hit as well. And Nick Allen, he had a hit in the 9th spot for this one. And again, Bryce Elder, he went 8, and Pierce Johnson came in trying to close the door with the lead. And that was a ball game. Imagine now if you have Spencer Strider there trying to close out that game. I think he could close it out successfully. I truly do think he can close it out successfully. But yeah, that was the ball game, unfortunately. Another tough loss, another gut punch. Right when you think you're going to get one game in, one win, it does not happen. It's taken away from you. And then game 3 on Sunday, it was a 4-3 loss. The Giants, they bring out the brooms. The Giants, they rallied back. They came back from an early 3-1 deficit with a 3-run fourth inning. Mike Yastrzemski, he broke out of a slump. He had a sacrifice fly in the second to tie the game. Then he had a 2-out, 2-run double in the fourth to tie it again. And then later on, he scored the go-ahead run on an Ozzie Albies fielding error. For the Braves, it was Matt Olson. He delivered all 3 RBIs in the ball game. He had an RBI on a fielder's choice in the first, then a 2-run double in the third off the wall over there. Spencer Strider, he started this game. He went 6 innings, allowed 3 earned runs on just 3 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Landon Root for the Giants, he earned a win with 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. And the bullpen, they came in and shut it down for the Giants. Walker, Rodriguez, and Duvall to close it out. That's how it went. And for the Braves, this marked that 7-game losing streak, the second one of the season. And it marked the first home sweep by San Francisco over the Giants since 2009. And like I mentioned, Yastrzemski, he snapped his RBI drought stemming from a slump since May the 4th. Series takeaways, the Giants, they combined for 34 strikeouts across the series. They dominated the Braves lineup. Braves continue to chase and strike out. They won all 3 games by exactly 1 run, pushing the streaks of 5 consecutive 1-run victories. The Braves, the offense relied nearly entirely on Matt Olson. He had 5 RBIs. He tried his best, but it wasn't enough. Key hits late by the Giants sealed every single game. And again, the struggles continue. The Braves have now lost 14 out of 17. They have plunged to 27-37. That's the worst record so far. 10 games under 500 for the first time since 2017. And 2017, if you remember, those were the rebuilding years. So it's a big, 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 big spot to be in right now. Excuse me. So again, it's just bad losses after bad losses. It's just, you can't make it up. You honestly can't make it up. They figured out a new way to lose every single game, which is, honestly has been impressive. I've been watching these games, and I don't feel any confidence in us winning. I do think we're gonna win tonight. We're gonna preview that one shortly. I do think the streak ends tonight. Hopefully it does. I do firmly believe with Chris Sale on the mound that Braves are going to be able to snap the streak and hopefully start fresh and take it from here. It's not going to be an easy opponent, and we'll see why when we get to our final segment. But that was pretty much it, getting into the series. Just disappointment after disappointment. And like I said, they're going to have to figure it out soon because time is it's going to start, cutting. You're going to dig yourself in a bigger hole. You're going to dig yourself in a bigger, it's already a huge, giant hole. If you keep on going, I don't know how far down you could go. It's going to be ugly though. So, that's it. That's it for our Tomahawk takes. And now we're going to head into our next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
Welcome to the MLB, where we catch up with the action from across the league. We had some good games this weekend. We're going to start off with the Sunshine State Series. That was the Miami Marlins at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, they win the first game 4-3. They end up losing the second one in 10 innings. The Marlins snuck this one in 11-10. Whoa, pause. They snuck the victory 11-10. And then on Sunday, the Rays win this one 3-2. They take the series and they win this Sunshine State matchup. Next, we had the battle in Pennsylvania, the Keystone Series. The Pirates, they bring out the brooms because they win all 3 games. The first one 5-4, and the last 2 by the same score of 2-1. Very good to see from them. They're trying to help us out. They've been trying to help us out, but the Braves just don't seem to want the help. Again, but that was impressive to see from them. Paul Skeens, he pitched into the 8th during his start. Andrew McCutchen, he delivered the go-ahead single in the 8th of Sunday's game. And Adam Frazier, he went 3 for 5 and scored the winning run in Friday's rally. Next, we had the Texas Rangers at the Washington Nationals. Jacob deGrom, he pitched 7 shutout innings, allowing 2 hits with 8 strikeouts, no walks. This guy, he's looking good, guys. He's looking good. But they lost that first game 0-2. They won the second one 5-0, and then Sunday they end up winning the series 4-2. The next series we had at Yankee Stadium, Boston Red Sox at your New York Yankees. Carlos Narvaez, he hit a 3-run homer and drove in 3 RBIs over the series. Abraham Toro, he hit 3 hits, had 3 hits with 1 homer. Trevor Story, he added a homer and 2 hits. Aaron Judge, he went 3 for 4 with 2 homers on Sunday. His batting average climbed to 396, 397 before the loss. But the Red Sox, they actually win the series. They lose their first game 9-6, but they come back and win the second game 10-7, and the final game 11-7. And I believe they hit 5 homers in that final game. So they were cooking. They put the work in. Carlos Narvaez, he had that 3-run homer. So impressive for the Red Sox offense, and they just called up Roman Anthony. So he's going to be exciting to watch. Let's see how he does for the Red Sox in his debut. Next, we had the Arizona Diamondbacks at the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds, they win game number 1 4-3. They win the second game by the same score, 4-3 as well. In the 10th inning, a walk-off, 13-1. In the second game of that doubleheader, and then the final game on Sunday, they went 4-2. So they end up sweeping the Diamondbacks. In this one, they showcasing their bats. Next, we had a really, really good series. It might be the World Series matchup. Who knows? You never know. It's your Chicago Cubs at the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers, they took 2 of 3, winning Sunday's finale 4-0. Jack Flaherty, he held Chicago to 2 hits. And that's good to see. From Jack Flaherty, and impressive because the Chicago Cubs, they have the best offense, so him able to hold them down to 2 hits, that's pretty good. The final scores were 3-1 in the first one, that's Detroit, 6-1 Chicago the second game, and like I said, 4-0 the final game of that one. Houston Astros at the Cleveland Guardians. The Astros, they secure the series win 2-1. They won the first game 4-2. The second game Saturday 5-3, and then Sunday's game they lose that one 2-4. The Guardians are able to hold them off and avoid the sweep. Next, we have the Kansas City Royals at the Chicago White Sox. The Royals, they grabbed the 3-game set. They win 2, ending Chicago White Sox win streak by winning 7-5 also. Excuse me. Yeah, so they won that series. I'm sorry, I'm a little off today, guys. Toronto Blue Jays at the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, they won the final game 6-3. They end up winning the series in this one. Next, we had the San Diego Padres at the Milwaukee Brewers. The San Diego Padres, they won game 1 2-0, a shutout. They won the final game to win the series, another shutout, 1-0. And then the second game, the Brewers end up winning this one 4-3. Next, we had the LA Dodgers at the St. Louis Cardinals. The Dodgers, they get a shutout in the first game. Final score 5-0. They lose the second game as well, 2-1. And then game 3, they win this one 7-3. That's how the ball game went. And in this one, I believe Nolan Arenado, I believe he walked it off the second game, the one that they won 2-1. Next, we had the New York Mets at the Colorado Rockies. The Mets continue to roll. They sweep the Rockies. They keep doing what they're supposed to do, beating the bad teams, completely destroying them, and continuing to win ball games against the good teams. They won the first one 4-2, second one 8-1, and the third one 13-5. Pete Alonso, he had a multi-homer performance. He's been cooking. Good to see from him. Then we had the Seattle Mariners at the LA Angels. The LA Angels, they won the first 2, scored 5-4, and then 8-6. And then the Mariners, they come back and win 3-2. George Kirby, he struck out a career high of 14, anchoring Seattle's dominant performance. Then we had the Baltimore Orioles at the Athletics. The Athletics, they win 5-4 the first game. They win the third game 5-1. That completed the series W. And then they lose 7-4. That second game, Baltimore ends up winning that one. We're going to take a look at the standings since it's now Monday. Let's see how all the teams fared during the weekend. If my app here opens. So we're going to start with the American League. In the American League, the AL East, the Yankees are in first place with a record of 39-25. They're 4.5 games up of both the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays. Your Boston Red Sox, they're 32-35, 8.5 games back. And the Orioles are trying to climb back, trying to get into the fight. They're 26-38, 12 games under 500. They're 13 games back. Next, we have the best team in baseball in the AL Central, the best team, the Detroit Tigers. They are 43-24. They have a nice, comfortable lead over the Minnesota Twins, who are 35-30. They're 7 games back. The Cleveland Guardians, 7.5 games back. They're 34-30. Royals, 34-32, 8.5 games back. And the Chicago White Sox are 22-44. They're cooked, guys. They're cooked. Next, we had the AL West, the Houston Astros. They have reclaimed first place, and that's without Yordan Alvarez. So pretty good and impressive to see from them. That they're 36-29. They're 2.5 games up over the Seattle Mariners, who are 33-31. Texas Rangers, 31-35. They're 5.5 games back. The Angels are also 5.5 games back. They're 30-34. And the Athletics, 26-41. They're 11 games back. It'll be nice to see if Alex Anthopoulos is able to trade maybe for Mason Miller and Jacob Wilson. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That'll fix 2 problems that the Braves have out at shortstop, offensively, and in the back of the bullpen. And if you don't, like I said, put Strider to close out games. Just put him there. You never know what happens. In the NL East, we have the Mets, 42-24, second best record in the majors. They're on a 3-game winning streak. The Phillies, they have lost 5 in a row. They're 4.5 games back. They're 37-28. Nationals in third place, 30-35. They're 11.5 games back. Our Atlanta Braves, 27-37, 14 games back from the Mets. I think it's over when it comes down to the division, guys. I really think it's over. I'm not even gonna look. You know what it is. You can't look at the standings now. When it comes, if you're a Braves fan, don't look at the standings. Just keep an eye on the record, and then if they ever do get over 500, then you start looking at where you fare up against the rest of the teams. But for now, let's just worry about winning one ball game, one day at a time, and trying to get to 500 once again. The Miami Marlins, they're 24-39. They're done already, 16.5. We're going to be there soon. If we keep up, we're going to be done too. So, can't laugh at them. The NL Central Chicago Cubs, they're 40-25. They're in first place, 4 games ahead of the Seattle. Why do I always say Seattle Cardinals? That's crazy. The St. Louis Cardinals, they're 36-29. The Milwaukee Brewers, 35-31. They're 5.5 games back. The Reds at 500. They're 33-33, 7.5 games back. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, 26-40, 14.5 games back. Last but not least, the NL West. The Dodgers, they're in first by 39-27 by just 1 game. The Padres right behind them, 37-27. They're actually going to be facing off starting tonight. The Giants, they're on a 5-game heater. They're 38-28. They're 1 game back as well. Diamondbacks, 31-34, 7.5 games back. They've lost 3 in a row now, which is what pisses me off about the Braves, because they let these teams sweep them, and then right after, these teams go right back down to earth. And then the Rockies, 12-53. Whew, that is absolutely terrible. So that was it for the standings. We have some series starting today and some starting tomorrow. Today, we got the Cincinnati Reds at Cleveland for the Battle of Ohio. They're starting their set today. Miami Marlins at Pittsburgh. Chicago Cubs at Philadelphia. That's going to be good. Tampa Bay at Boston. Toronto at St. Louis. Athletics at the Angels. The LA Dodgers at San Diego. That's probably going to be the best one to keep an eye on. So that starts today. And the Seattle Mariners at Arizona Diamondbacks. And obviously the Braves, but we're going to get into that one in our next segment. And then a few series starting tomorrow. We have the Detroit Tigers at Baltimore, the Washington Nationals at the New York Mets, Texas Rangers at Minnesota, New York Yankees at Kansas City. That is going to be an interesting one as well. Chicago White Sox at Houston, and then San Francisco at Colorado. So that is it for the series that are starting today and tomorrow. That'll wrap it up for our MLB. And now we're going to head into our next and final segment.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
Now it's time for the Braves forecast, where we preview the upcoming series for our Atlanta Braves. And that is going to be a 3-game set out in Milwaukee against the Milwaukee Brewers. Another good team that you're facing. They are over 500. They sit at 35-31. They're 2.5 games back of the final NL wildcard spot. They've cooled off after an 8-game winning streak that they went on. So, again, the Braves are going to be coming in 27-37. They're in 4th place in the NL East, currently on a 7-game losing streak and have struggled in close games. They're 9-19, as I mentioned, in one-run ball games. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Game 1 starting tonight, it's going to be Chris Sale. He's 3-4 with a 2.93 ERA, 1.17 ERA over his last 38 and a third with 50 strikeouts. For the Brewers, it'll be Aaron Savali. He's 1-1 with a 5.19 ERA. Again, tonight's game is a 7:40 p.m. start time. And, we're going to see if Sale is able to continue his elite form. Expect this one to be one of his best outings. I hope so. Atlanta's offense needs to support him early. A low-scoring game is likely. The total for the runs is 7.5. Let's see how that goes. Tuesday's game, it's slated for Grant Holmes for the Atlanta Braves. He's 3-4 with a 3.99 ERA. And for the Brewers, Corinne Priester, he's 3-2 with a 3.88 ERA. That'll be a 7:40 p.m. start time as well. And then Wednesday's game is going to be a 1:10 p.m. start time scheduled for Spencer Schwellenbach. He's 4-4 with a 3.24 ERA. Going against Chad Patrick, he's 3-5 with a 2.84 ERA. So I would say, looking at these on paper, I believe the Braves have the advantage when it comes to the starting pitching. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of it. Let's see if the offense is able to attack early and just stay with the foot on the gas. You got to stay with the foot on the gas, and hopefully they can get at least one ball game here. I feel like once they get that one W, they're gonna start rolling again. We just gotta break this streak. We gotta break this streak. And tonight is an opportunity to do so with Chris Sale on the mound. We're going to see if also Drake Baldwin, if he's able to give the offense a better flow. I like when he's batting second, get that righty-lefty right away with Acuna leading off the ball game, and then Baldwin coming right up. And Baldwin always puts up some good at-bats, which is good to see from him, the rookie. So we'll see how that is able to go. Key storylines to watch. Can Sale snap the skid? Like I said, a strong start may set the tone, but he's going to need some run support. So, again, let's see if the bats can do that. Can the Braves, can they break that one-run curse? We'll see. A 9-19 in those ball games, like I said. And let's see if Christian Yelich, his recent hot streak could swing momentum in the Brewers' favor. So this series is definitely a make or break series for the Braves. Let's see if Chris Sale could deliver tonight. Let's see if the offense can respond and they can salvage this road trip. They're going to be back home soon after this one. So we'll see if they're able to show some resiliency and start clicking, start playing good baseball like we know they're able to. So let's see, guys. I know they're 10 games under. We still got some time. But it has to start now. I haven't felt confident in this team. The last 3 games that we saw against the Giants, I wasn't confident at all. But I can truly say tonight, I do think we're going to win this ball game. I do think we're going to win it with Chris Sale on the mound. These guys, they got out of San Francisco. They're going to put it behind them. They're going to come out of Milwaukee. And dudes are going to start hitting, playing good baseball. And the bullpen's going to start holding it down, guys. Bullpen's going to start holding it down. Make some pitches, ground, get some double plays, get some strikeouts. I think it's gonna be fine, guys. So we'll see after this series. We'll see after the series. Anyways, that is it for the Chop Seat. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you guys for continuing to share the show. Follow on Instagram at the Chop Seat Pod. Follow on X or Twitter, whatever you guys call it, at the Chop Seat, and on YouTube at the Chop Seat as well. So thank you guys. Oh, and also send any takes you guys have in. You can send it either via DM on Twitter, X, on Instagram, or via email at thechopseat@gmail.com. So we can get that from the Bleachers segment started. So once again, we'll see how the Braves fare. We'll be back probably on Thursday, if not Friday. So I'll see you guys then, and let's go Braves.